Welcome back. I was just thinking to myself a few weeks ago that around this time we normally get a visit from NAPE, and I was wondering when exactly they were going to show up. Wow, they are here this morning. They didn't disappoint. Around the end of October, November, the first 2 weeks of November, they will show up here. I'd like to welcome the president of NAPE, Mrs. Adedaja Ojelabi.
Thank you for having us.
You came in last year as the president-elect.
That is correct.
Am I correct?
That is correct.
Right. So the president-elect is here as well, and he's Mr. Chikwe Edoziam.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming. So what brings NAPE here now?
Well, we're having our 32nd annual conference, so we're here to talk about it and let people know what's going to happen.
The 32nd conference and exhibition, and you have themed it the future of hydrocarbon exploration, drilling deeper, searching wider. Why that theme?
One of the things that really has been dwindling in this country has been really the reserves, and it's becoming a little bit more difficult really to get explored in some of the areas in Nigeria. And so we thought that we have the technology, because the technology is common to all, it's provided by the third-party companies, and all we need to do is to look for where the next generation of hydrocarbons is going to come. So, and we have explored the shallower part of the Niger Delta. So we need to look at either the deeper sections or other basins in order to meet the next level of hydrocarbon.
Drill deeper, search wider. I'm sure that I'm not the only one who's a bit worried by what you have just said. Dwindling reserves. That was what stuck in my head as you were speaking. So, oh God, are you saying that Nigeria is going to become broke very soon? Madam President?
We're not saying we're going to be broke, but we're not exploring. Our exploration activities are fairly low right now. So as a country, we want to have reserves of 30 billion barrels. We want to produce 4 million barrels per day. But our reserves stand at 35 billion barrels right now. If we're not adding, then we need to add some more.
So you're going to search wider and deeper to look for new reserves. That's what this is all about.
That's correct.
But when you look at the activities that have been there lately, issues that have to do with divestment and all about pulling out, how would that help the exploration and the desire to reach that 40 billion barrels mark?
That's a very good question, because we're saying that you're looking at the economics. There are companies that are divesting, all the big companies are divesting and smaller companies are picking them up. You need to talk about finance. Where are they going to get the financing? What about the infrastructure? You know, we're talking about gas being the energy that Nigeria wants to become a gas-driven economy. So we're talking about gas infrastructure, we're talking about gas pricing. We're going to talk a lot about gas at this conference. There's gas. The Minister for Power is coming, Professor NAPE. He's going to address, he's the keynote speaker for the pre-conference workshop. So that is a key thing. The whole economy, the whole upstream value chain, we're going to discuss it. We're discussing technology, we're discussing technical issues and then non-technical issues.
Tell us a bit more about this paper that the power minister is going to talk about. He's going to be addressing challenges of developing IPP in Nigeria. Tell us more about that.
You know, we're struggling to provide power. Well, as far as I've been alive, we've always had power shortages or power outages. And we've gradually moved your whole life, my whole life. But we've gradually moved from ATP to gas. And this is the industry that provides the gas.
Okay.
He's going to tell us about the government policies, what the government has done. You know that they've privatized PHCN. Now we have newcomers, new players in the industry, but they still need to get the gas, and they need to buy it. And you know, there's from the company's point of view, there's the domestic gas obligation that they must fulfill. So we have people who are supplying gas, and we're looking at people who are demanding gas, and then we have the end users. He knows about the entire value chain of this, so he's going to help us connect the dots and say, well, this is where we are, this is what we're doing to get to where we want to be.
Now, we're also told that two top Nigerian entrepreneurs, Alhaji Dangote and Tony Elumelu, are going to be with you. What exactly will they be addressing while they're with you?
These folks are not, the two people are not geoscientists, and this is an area where you have geoscientists rubbing minds on the technical side. But the Oil Convention Luncheon, which is exactly what that forum is named, it's a gathering of not only the geoscientists, it's also the gathering of some industrialists, the bankers, and the rest of them in the entire industry. And they will be talking about the business-related aspect. These folks, don't forget, the people that really have made name in the industry. The two top, if you would say, richest men you have in Africa, and they have carved a niche in the different areas, either in the banking, Tony Elumelu is a banking legend, while Aliko Dangote is an industrialist. It's really to rub minds and try to share their own experience. In that forum, we're going to have some of the folks that really chairman of these independents, the small oil companies. They probably learn one or two things from how these fellows got around doing exactly what they're doing.
Now that you mentioned them, how are those small oil companies doing? The ones that you all call marginal fields?
Yeah.
How are they doing?
That's another question, she talked about divestment, and she talked about the marginal fields. It is expected, like the government, you have in every IOC, you have some of those opportunities they can't get to develop, and that within a very short time. So they need to give it out to somebody who can develop it. How are they doing? If you have listened recently to the DPR director when he talked about a couple of how they are performing, how we had about 38 of them, and how only 8 of them are operational today, and contributing about 2% to the production.
Oh dear.
There are some challenges, but again, this is the reason why we're having that forum, in order to have discussions. We have most of them attending this very forum, and they will be discussing some of the challenges they are having, both in financing and other aspects. And that's.
At the end of the conference, you think those challenges will be addressed effectively?
We hope, because we have gathered most of the CEOs of these independents and some of the financing institutions really present, so that they will be.
With this conference, Josephine, would this conference be looking at the issue of a legal framework?
One of the speakers would be some legal people who have actually helped to draft some of these policies. We're having them at the sessions as well, and we're having the bankers too, because everything boils down to finance. So we're having legal consultants. We're also having people who design and fabricate the instruments that they need for some of these projects. So it's going to be an all-encompassing discussion.
I hope you're not getting to talk about the PID.
You brought it up. Maybe you should tell us about it.
No, it's not really going to address the PID issues, but in the course of discussions that might come up, and you never know.
Yeah, they have said they're going to pass the bill in March next year, so let's just and hope and pray. Now, the last time you all came here, we asked you about your communique. And how it affects policy, how it gets to government and all that. The communique from last year, from your conference and convention of last year, is the content a secret? No. Or can you tell us exactly what you advised government to do?
We actually have published our communique. We always, once we present it to the minister or the minister's representative, we publish it, and it becomes a public document. You know, last year we had a lot of issues, and funding has been a recurrent issue in the industry. Gas pricing has been a recurrent topic, and it's really great to see in the papers that the meeting between the finance minister, the petroleum minister, and the power minister, they had discussions because all of them are interlinked. And now we're looking at the announcement in the papers that gas pricing has gone up to $2.80. You know, those are the kinds of things that shows that they're listening to the stakeholders, especially the industry that supplies the power. So if we can, it may be slow, but if we keep making those taking the little steps and making progress, I think it's in the best interest of the country, because the oil and gas industry still is the backbone of our economy.
It is, most certainly. Okay, so apart from explorationists, who else are you expecting at your conference? President-elect.
I really want you to be out there as well.
Because, what would I gain from all you eggheads?
I think you would learn.
You'll be talking about my head, because you'll be talking geology and you'll be talking oil exploration. I wouldn't even know the meaning of the terms that the jargons that you use.
We have different sessions, actually. We have the management sessions and we have the technical sessions. And of course, if you don't want to listen to those,
the technical bits, yes.
Stay away from the technical sessions.
Okay.
And then you have the management sessions. And one of them, you talked about the ACL, which the luncheon, which Tony Elumelu and Aliko Dangote will be there. Some other management sessions, we're going to be talking exactly what you just mentioned earlier, the divestments, and look at exactly how we have fared through the years.
Okay.
And then we're going to another management section is looking at
Gas to power.
gas to power,
Okay.
which you talked about the IPP, which is really the
Minister of
end
Power,
user
yeah.
exactly coming in.
Okay.
And
So,
These are some, and then the gas prices.
so anybody who is interested, for instance, should do what?
Well, we register and then they can attend. It's really open to everyone.
Your website?
The website
Oh.
is www.nape.org.ng.
Okay, so all the information is on your website,
All the information.
and it will also contain the cost that they're going to pay to attend
Absolutely.
the
Cost of
That's
that.
correct.
Of course, there's a cost
You got to run it.
That's right.
Okay, thank you very much. We can do now just to wish you all the best at your conference, and we hope that, as usual, government will listen to your recommendations so that oil industry remains as vibrant and as profitable as it has been. Thank you very much for coming, and good luck at your conference.
Thank you very much.
The president of NAPE, which is the Association of Petroleum Explorationists, Mrs. Adedoja Ojelabi, and the president-elect, Mr. Chikwe Edozian. Thank you very much for coming. Sunrise will return in just a moment